Yeah, how's it going today? 2nd of December, Monday. It's a new week, and let's take a look at market, some of the government's press releases, and if anything, perhaps where markets are, no, or where markets are shifting, right? First article, perhaps with everything what's happening in the world, there was a lot of football matches who had escalated and some people got injured very bad, right? And that will lead to something that will be announced today, perhaps that will be another report on biometrics and all surveillance cameras for Commissioner laid in Parliament. I don't know exactly why, but I would assume that perhaps some of these reasons can be would what would can be in response with with everything what's happening in the world, right? As well as previously we were taking a look at this area, right? Anyway, so that we biometrics and surveillance cameras commissioners annual report for 2023 to 2024 has been laid in Parliament today. Let's take a look at it. Let's try to understand it. Just a quick recap on where we're on the calendar. We have finished week 170. Overall, was a great week. We had done a lot of networking and marketing, and we're progressing to week 171. There's gonna be magic people as well as every second day of the week we're gonna be uh, uh, doing a little bit of marketing and or sales, as well as we're gonna be closing this week by taking a look at the government contracts. The report sets out the observations of the Commissioner in relation to his responsibilities for overseeing police use of DNA and or fingerprints in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland, and for encouraging the proper use of public space surveillance cameras. Okay, perhaps some of those areas would be where that information or data will be stored. I would perhaps would like to bring more attention to data collection and where that data would be stored, right? Some governments take a look at what kind of hardware, so where that hardware would be manufactured, but perhaps the entire industry is still very new, right? Anyway, the report covers the period April 2023 to March 2024 as annual and was produced by Biometrics and Surveillance Cameras Commission, that's name, who stepped down from his post in mid-August, having been appointed commissioner in a time limited capacity as a role. Oh, okay. But we were taking a look at the time we were taking a look at all these developments, right? National security determinations. There has been fall in the number of NSDs made by the chief officers. Okay, let's keep that. The increase of use of Section 63G powers. Oh, sure. Reflection and all comments on some of the achievements of the office and all the most recent encumbers of the role. Okay. Perhaps some. If there was a big team at the time, perhaps six, five people or so, perhaps they had replaced some of the team members. And let's take a look at the next article. Right? Let's take a look at the next article. That would be full steam ahead for Alice. Narrow gauge steam train. Okay, sure. So that would be water potentially. Steam ride. Powered by Alice, the little Welsh engine has trailed North Wales visitors for over 50 years. Okay, perhaps briefly, perhaps kind of the positive, I guess. But briefly, and we're gonna progress to other articles, right? I thought it might be a good, feel good story, kind of. This is a very special heritage railway that takes a 9 mile short line journey alongside Bala Lake in the heart of Snowdonia National Park. Is now being expanded into Bale Town Centre to power a tourism industry. A beautiful place for people who haven't visited Snowdonia. It can take a lot of time to climb all the way to the top. Sometimes, depending on the weather, it can take 6 hours or more. But overall, beautiful place. And if there are some developments that could reduce time required to climb, and if there would be a train there, would be great, right? And all that would be Red Dragon project has achieved a major breakthrough with the approval of planning permissions for its long-awaited approximately 4 million extension plan. Great, and let's take a look at next article. That is something that we were taking a look at previously. That would be Norway and It might be an ongoing thing, as well as there's a lot of developments when it comes to other governments, including Canada might have a lot of investments in this area. But in this article, we can take a look at Norway, and something that we published 4 hours ago that with Norway suspends controversial deep sea mining plan. Perhaps myself, I'm looking to understand it, not necessarily that I know everything about this particular industry. But if it's suspended, perhaps there's more research that maybe would need to be done. Right? But anyway, Norway has paused its controversial project to open up its seabed for commercial scale deep sea mining. Oslo had planned to let companies apply to mine 280,000 square kilometers of its waters for precious metals and ore area bigger than the size of the United Kingdom. The move was blocked after the country's Social Left Party said it will not support the government's budget unless it scraps the first license round set for 2025. Environmental scientists has warned that move could be catastrophic for marine life, depending right on the method that would be used, right? While the plans were opposed by 32 countries, including. Okay, so there's. I don't understand this particular area that much, as well as there would be a governing body, and reaching out to that government body, there's no one to respond for comment, right? So let's progress. Let's take a look at the next article. Let's take a look at the next article. It's something that we published today that we Air Baltic. I think it's a company that will be based in Latvia. But there might be a lot of developments, right? Air Baltic will wait until the first half of 2025 for IPO at the earliest. Latvia Air Baltic initial public offering is now expected at the earliest in the first half of 2025. The chief executive told this media channel on Monday, as the airline advisor suggested waits for market conditions in Europe airline sector to improve. There might be a lot of things happening, and not necessarily, if we're referring to Latvia, perhaps not necessarily just in Latvia, but in other Baltic governments, right, including Lithuania, and purchasing a lot of airplanes, all those kind of things, right? Let's take a look at the next article. Let's take a look at the next article. That is the case manufacturing PMI sinks to 9 months low as orders dry up. So that would be perhaps a number of ways of taking a look at the sector. One of those ways would be UK falling from top 10 manufacturing governments up there. But there might be many reasons, right? But anyway, the gauge of British manufacturing activity released on Monday point out that sharpest contraction in 9 months as orders from domestic and all foreign customers fell, and ongoing supply chain disruption push up the cost, right? Perhaps there's a number of factors, not just supply chain disruptions. Anyway, there might be a lot of reasons, but anyway. S&P cited headwinds from a £25 billion or 32 billion raise in employment taxes, so new government and building foundations, right? I think that's a process that the government is looking to do, right? In the new Labour government's October 30th budget, a 7% increase in Britain's minimum wage, disruptions in shipping in the Red Sea, and or threats of global goods tariffs. So many reasons, we just barely scratching the surface why that could happen. But answering this question, not necessarily covering in the best possible way. If anything, hard data, that would be numbers are dropping, right? Let's progress. Let's take a look at last article. Let's take a look at last press release. I was taking a look at some of the information this morning about how much some of the food can be processed. There would be different definitions as well as food labeling standards. There might be a lot of changes, if not right now, in not too distant future, right? Depending on the customers, right, and people purchasing food, right, and what they would prefer to purchase, as well as there might be within UK new standards coming in, but it's very debatable those standards, right? But anyway. That would be private businesses is looking to sell food brands with 1 billion in sales. Since it's dollars, most likely that would be United States market, not necessarily UK, right? But anyway, that would be Unilever is looking to sell several food brands that have combined sales of around 1 billion euros. Okay. And perhaps there might be a lot of brands for sale. Previously, we were taking a look at top 10 companies, and one of those companies was this particular company. So perhaps there might be a lot of openings in the market and establishing new businesses, right? But without really customer preferences, but the entire subject is very complex, right? So I just told this news channel earlier this month that company was exploring a sale of some of the Dutch food brands, including okay, there might be some business up there, as well as also trying to sell smaller food brands in Britain and all other countries in Europe. This company, home of about 400 brands worldwide, has over the past year been trying to recalibrate its operations to focus more on marketing its top 30 power brands and streamline its businesses, particularly in Europe. In March, this company, I know there might be more companies. I said it will spin off its okay ice cream, kind, I guess, a home brand such as okay. If anything, that would be how to manufacture, scale, quality, all the standards, all the different standards, and this entire subject might be very complex, as well as how much money would we spend on research and development, and the perhaps current trend is to support local family businesses and not necessarily massive brands. Perhaps there's more to that, and there might be a need for more people establishing their businesses. That would be small family businesses and those people would later, after they build businesses, would be able, perhaps if they would decide to sell to larger corporations, perhaps there might be something to that as well. Let's listen to that. Thanks for watching. See you next one.